Our guest today is Greg Sullins. Greg is the head of U.S. banking at Newgen, a company specializing in providing low-code digital transformation with process automation, content services, and customer communications management, ultimately boosting organizational performance and customer experience. And indeed, Greg is with us today to talk about redefining customer experience in banking and the future of financial tech. So Greg, welcome to the program today. Let's get into it. From your point of view, what are some of the key trends that are currently shaping the future of customer experience in the financial tech sector?
Yeah, Kevin, thanks for having me on with you today. I think we really start when we look at the future of customer experience in the fintech. It really centers around three key things: advancements in technology, significant; changing consumer expectations, number two; and the evolving regulatory landscape here, particularly. So, I think you will see, and Kevin, I think at Newgen, you've seen our recent announcement perhaps around Lumen. But the ability to deal with personalization and hyper personalization is going to be significant in the future as the customer experience evolves. Why is that important? Really, that desire and the trend is the desire to create more meaningful, relevant interactions with the customer. And so we see the increasing use of AI and machine learning to offer that personal financial advice, product recommendations, tailored experiences are all really key. When you think beyond that, other things that are front and center is enhanced security and fraud prevention. And I think you see the use of AI again to address fraud detection systems and protect customer behavior. We're seeing, and we use biometric technology, both in terms of facial recognition, multi-factor components to address the security and fraud protection. And then, Kevin, I'd say, if I thought about, the third thing that comes to mind really centers around customer-centric design, right? And the ease and design thinking around the user experience, the user interface principles, those are really some of the key topics.
All right. Well, I want to talk about security here in a moment, but let's dig in a little bit further into customer experience in banking. Yeah, as you mentioned, can you discuss the role of digital transformation and some of these tools like AI and personalization? Can you discuss the role of those tools in enhancing customer engagement and satisfaction in banking? And what are some specific technologies and techniques that you feel are really making a difference today?
Sure, Kevin. Um, as the digital technology kind of evolves, I'll start again with the personalization. The AI machine learning is significant right now in terms of our ability to continually start to analyze customer data, offer personalized recommendations, tailored financial advice, customized products. But when you look beyond that piece, it's the convenience and accessibility factors. You're seeing banks and fintechs, how do they address mobile banking apps, online banking solutions, really meeting the customer where they are 24/7. At Newgen Software, we focus a lot on, and many of our clients come to us with omni-channel experience expectations, because many banks have kind of grown up with different siloed channels of business, call centers, online banking, their branch network, and they look to us to integrate that environment and create an integrated platform to create, whether the customer decides to start in one channel and finish in another channel, they can do that, and they don't have to repeat themselves. So everyone understands that, and it becomes a fundamental improvement in the employee experience for the banks as well.
So it's this
Now,
if I'm hearing you right, it's today it's this convergence of omni-channel or reaching customers where they are, wherever they are, and the ability to really highly and hyper personalize the communications and interactions with each of those clients. What are some of the challenges that banks face today, especially traditional banks, when trying to implement these types of strategies, and how does Newgen help overcome them?
Yeah, sure. I probably first and foremost centers around data management and quality. We hear that every time we go into a client and their challenges of creating the that hyper personalization. It relies on having accurate, comprehensive customer data, and so we work to really assist in how can we integrate the environments where they maybe have different repositories of information and data, aggregate that information, create a unified solution. There's still work that has to be done to address the data framework, the governance processes around that. But that's kind of one of the front and center. Um, Next thing, though, that really comes to mind, Kevin, is centers around privacy and security concerns. And so we work through a series of methodologies and approaches to help adopt advanced encryption methodologies end to end, whether that's the data that's sitting at rest or in transit. Those are important. But one of the things I think we're most proud of is our ability to deal with integration of legacy systems. Kevin, many times we go in for a simple, we'll get a request to automate a certain customer journey, whether that's around account opening or a loan origination journey. We typically, on average, integrate and with over 20 systems to create that unified solution for a given bank. And so both integrating with other fintech solutions as well as legacy bank applications. So that ability to really shine, if you will, in creating that unification and overcoming those challenges of those disparate systems.
So, Greg, if I'm getting you right, in your experience working with banks, on average, or just a thumbnail sketch, banks have 20 different systems on average, if you will, that need to be integrated into this unified approach. Is that about right? And is that about average
Yeah,
for what you've experienced?
Yeah, many times over, Kevin, if you think about all the aspects around the customer information with their core system, pushing and pulling information to the core, to the ability to deal with identity verification, credit bureau checks, the likes of document systems, electronic document signatures, um, all the way through to funding mechanisms throughout that entire journey. The email systems and other aspects of security. Yes, it very consistently around 20 systems that we integrate with.
Wow.
And what the benefit of that, Kevin, is all of a sudden now we've transformed the employee experience where they don't have to remember to go navigate to all of these different places. They've got a unified solution, digital solution using the Newgen low-code platform. And so it creates a better employee experience, which translates to a better customer experience, right?
I think that's a key point. Absolutely. If employees are struggling with just the systems to get their jobs done, it's unrealistic to expect that they would be part of the vanguard of improving the customer experience at that point.
That's right.
Especially in these times of different and more challenging entries into the space, like digital first banks like Chime here in the US, Revolut in the UK, or Paytime in India are disrupting traditional banking models. Indeed, Chime has nearly 22 million users as of today. How does this integration of data and solutions help traditional banks compete with these digital first challengers?
Well, it really centers back to the enhancement of technology leads us to the ability to improve that customer experience and ultimately streamline the operations. We see again, centered around the enhancing the customer experience, Kevin, that ability to deal with that personalization, the AI driven services. Banks are leveraging that information and capabilities. Another prime example is around chatbots and virtual assistants. We see a continued use of, again, that ability to support and serve that customer 24/7 with the capabilities of AI and chatbot chatbot. And then where a lot of where we help is around improving that whole digital banking platform and capabilities. At Newgen Software, we have, we support and integrate with the mobile and online banking solutions. That's a key aspect of our solution. Ultimately, driving to an overall operational efficiency and cost effectiveness that's going to allow banks and our clients to better serve their customers. And again, back to, it's a common theme, making it better for the employees as well.
Well, look, I'm no expert in banking or financial tech. I'll leave that to you, but it seems like there's no going back. Am I right? How do you see the role of data analytics, machine learning, AI, this type of integrated approach evolving in the next few years with respect to customer experience in banking?
Well, it's going to evolve, Kevin. The answer, no, you can't go back, right? The customers are not going back. The demand, the desire, where the customers are and your ability to serve and support competitively, you got to move forward.
Mhm.
Drive to personalization at scale, right? Really, if you think about it, today, banks have for many years have used data analytics and machine learning to personalize customer experience. Most of the time, recommending a new product or something based on an individual's preferences. But the future is going to evolve where you anticipate the customer's needs in real time and offer them solutions such as the ability, maybe they need a loan or investment, a new investment product for their financial needs based on some behavior or life event that occurs. So that ability, again, to add value to the customer, that's going to be key. Banks will continue to need to move forward digitally with customer insights, right? Data and analytics is key. We've looked at historically more at customer demographics, transaction patterns. The future of that's going to be advanced machine learning algorithms like Newgen's tools and Gen AI, Lumen, for example, and our ability to support those personalized journeys. And then I think it's going to be ultimately, again, no going back. You've got to improve customer service. The customer experience has to take it to new levels. And through the data analytics and machine learning capabilities around customer retention and loyalty, we have to find ways to prevent the churn before it happens, and the potential loss of those customers. And then the analytics to reward customers accordingly. Those are some of the key things that we see throughout the new and working with our clients, not only here in the United States, but globally, from some very consistent themes.
As you're talking, Greg, it occurs to me that perhaps banks and financial services institutions are indeed the most well positioned to take advantage of customer data and the convergence of these types of hyper personalized, hyper agile systems to really move the needle when it comes to digital transformation and customer experience. Do you feel that is so?
No, absolutely. Banks are must be and continue to be in a trusted advisor role. They are in well positioned with a wealth of information and analytics to use that information responsibly and support the customers again. And I think it can just blossom from there and continue.
All right. I want to ask about security and cybercrime. And it seems to me that this is great, but banks are also super vulnerable to cybercrime and data breaches. For example, just in February of 2024, just a couple of months ago or a month or so, Bank of America disclosed that it had a breach that exposed the personal information of over 57,000 Bank of America customers. And there are other breaches in the news as well. So banks are working hard to offer more personalized services and use customer data in more agile and more meaningful ways, while at the same time under increased risk of cybercrime and data breaches. So in what ways can fintech companies work to ensure the security and privacy of customer data while still offering more and more agile and personalized services?
Kevin, I think a great deal will continue to be to adopting multifaceted approaches to security and privacy of customer data. Um, we focus a lot on advanced encryption techniques, end-to-end encryption that boasts that data encrypted both during transmission and storage. Those are some of the standards we have to continually test and evaluate all aspects of those. Uh, Really dealing with both the, we're seeing the biometric authentication, the facial fingerprint recognition, voice recognition capabilities, continually innovating, right? Because we think about it, the fraudsters, if you will, are continually innovating. We have to keep challenging that. Of artificial intelligence and machine learning for fraud detection, it will continue to be key. We can only anticipate that the fraudsters are going to use AI against banks. We have to be stepping up the game to use that to prevent those bad behaviors, if you will, and take all of these additional safeguard efforts to really attack the cyber threats and data breaches.
If cyber criminals are going to be using AI against banks, how can banks use AI against cyber criminals?
Well, just like it's back to data, the analytics of it, it's determining what is really a true customer evaluation. So there's a series of models and algorithms that can be applied to identify the fraudsters versus the real customer, whether they're coming through our account opening solution or loan origination journeys.
All right. So how does Newgen help with all of this? Can you give us an example of one organization that you feel has been particularly successful in your approaches and strategies? Perhaps one use case. What did they do, and what were the results?
Yeah, I'll give you an example of a recent bank that had implemented, it was looking for a way because they had broken journeys across their account opening solutions, both their in-branch and online. They weren't able to offer all of their product set. And as we know, banks the past 18, 24 months have been struggling to find deposits, right? And so they need to have everything working in their favor to attract and retain deposits. And so we work with them at Newgen Software to implement our digital account opening solution, which not only supported their consumer accounts, their business accounts, it supported their online journey as well as their in-branch journey. Truly created an omni-channel experience. Kevin, I mentioned earlier about 20 integration points. This was literally a little bit over 20 integration points that all occurred for the business and consumer accounts to create a unified solution. And what did that do? It number one, increased their productivity over 300%. It allowed them to reduce the cycle time to open new accounts by, which in some cases online journeys were taking a day to less than 5 minutes. It allowed them to identify potential fraudulent transactions or much quicker. It eliminated potential regulatory compliance hurdles for them. So it became a win-win. Not only the employees started to benefit, but the customers were like it was a wow experience for them. And so those were examples of using Newgen's low-code digital platform with our enterprise content management. We plug in a customer communication layer within that, and we understand banking. So we're able to work and then integrate all of these various third-party services and solutions to create that unified solution. And so, creates an environment where they can grow and prosper and be more efficient in doing so, and supporting and doing that in a responsible, controlled environment.
We have been speaking today with Greg Sullins. Greg is the head of US banking at Newgen Software, and we've been talking about redefining customer experience in banking and the future of financial tech. Now, Greg, we have reached the action item round of the program. I'm wondering if you could please provide us with three quick action items that our listeners can use to take advantage of your ideas and advice.
Sure, sure. You know, Kevin, first and foremost, I, would hope that they would implement customer journey mapping tools and solutions. What do I mean by that? Give us a call. Let us help you map your journeys and identify pain points across that journey and where we can bring our solution set to bear. That is probably number one. Number two, then we will adapt and implement low code workflow management solutions across that journey. Why low code? It allows you to implement faster, quicker. It allows you to respond to changing environments. Kevin, none of us know what the next 18 months requirements are going to be, both from a regulatory or customer expectation. The low code solution of Newgen allows us to respond rapidly and quickly to that. And number three, then behind that is utilize AI and machine learning analytics for personalization. Newgen's Lumens solution is just one example of that. We have several tools that can help in creating that more personalized solution set to allow you to grow with your customers.
Well, Greg, it's been great speaking with you today. We're almost out of time, but before I let you go, one last question.
Sure.
What should executives in financial tech be thinking about now and strategizing for today in order to be prepared for the world in 5 years' time?
Wow, good question. Not that, and I just said we didn't know what happens in 18 months, right? But
Right.
5 years from now, I think you got to continue to embrace digital transformation. First and foremost, this should be at the C-suite of your organization. You should resist the temptation to just delegate a project down into the organization. Within that, invest in emerging technologies, prioritize AI and machine learning capabilities, and develop that digital first culture, if you will, that focuses on innovation, focuses on continuous learning. So number two, I would say focus on customer centricity, that enhancing the customer experience. You got to do that through data analytics. I talked about omni-channel experience. All of those things matter to the customer, and putting your organization in position to meet the customer where they are. Don't forget, we have to prioritize cybersecurity and data privacy. It's got to be in your top three items to continually stay focused on. And I would leave you with two other items, Kevin. Talent and acquisition development comes in. You're going to have to invest and continue to focus on talent, but tools that can help them improve how they better serve the customer is very important. And I think that at Newgen Software, that's something we take pride in, providing those intuitive solutions. And then finally, it's really about continuous innovation, creating a culture that you're continually trying to improve, continually trying to challenge the status quo, to move the organization forward. Some of those sound easy, but creating that discipline and doing that consistently. Ideally, you find a partner like Newgen Software that can help you in many of these areas and endeavor. I would love to have the opportunity to talk and interact with any and demonstrate how we're doing this each and every day.
That is Greg Sullins with Newgen Software. You can find Greg and find out more at newgensoft.com. That's newgensoft.com. Greg, thank you so much for being our guest today on the Digital Transformation Podcast.
Kevin, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Look forward to doing this again sometime soon.